Dearest Suzie, I received 2 letters from you today and was real ashamed of myself for not writing more often. My only defense is that we are very busy right now. For instance, today we took off at 06:30 and flew all day until 11 o'clock tonight. It is midnight now and I still have a lot of work to do before I can go to bed, and we have a takeoff at 0600 tomorrow morning. I can't remember when I have been as tired as I am tonight. It was a profitable day today, though. As we were coming home, they called us on the radio and told us that the latest count was 125 VC killed, and I am sure there are many, many more. We had one man injured. He caught a bullet in the hand, but he is doing fine. We were working out of Soc Trang today, and on one of my breaks I was having a Coke in their officers' club, and Captain Hodgson came in. I said hello and told him that you had written about his wife. He seemed real happy to meet me, and said that his wife had mentioned you and me. He is a real pleasant guy, and we got along real well. We talked for about 20 minutes. I'm glad that you like your ring, but I'm afraid that I pulled a big boo-boo. I had intended for you to give the pillowcase to Mom, since I didn't send her anything. That is why I had all our names put on it. However, I forgot to tell you that, and since you like it so much, you go ahead and keep it. You did say you gave Mom some money, didn't you? I would have gotten you one of those made up too, but I didn't really think you would like it. I was wrong once, huh? Anyway, I'm glad you like them. I was glad to hear that you got that camera. I have been worried about it. Hurry up and get some slides made and send me some. You should be getting that box that I sent by boat mail pretty soon now. That burns me up about some kid beating Brian. It is too bad he has to suffer because of someone else's brat. I hope they got a piece of your mind. Well, I will close for tonight. I didn't run out of things to write for once, but I am pooped. Try to write more tomorrow night. I love you all and miss you very much. Sincerely, Bill. The following is the next part of a piece I wrote titled Fish, Pharmaceuticals, and Phil. I won't give much context. I hope you can piece it together on your own. I'll continue to provide parts during this month when there are days which have less to talk about. As with most everything else in this project, this is deeply personal and meaningful to me. I hope you enjoy. Kid 2 had been the closest to Tim and Lisa due to her stay at their house during the pandemic. They helped her take Zoom classes, introduced her to Harry Potter, which turned her into an avid reader, and did all they could to correct the issues she faced that resulted from her upbringing. For example, she was 9 when she first went to live with them, and still wet the bed. She did so often. Tim was afraid she was a diabetic due to her poor diet, and bedwetting was a clear giveaway for him. And eventually, instead of asking for help with it, she would hide her soiled clothes, hoping that Aunt Lisa wouldn't get angry and hit her like her mother used to. Tim and Lisa never hit her. Now, at the age of 12, she has started to face bouts of depression. Her foster father, who Tim and Lisa respect and think have been great to her, have been trying to get her psychiatric help from the state, but by the time they did, things were too little and too late. When the first counselor finally arrived to the foster home over a year after the first request, Kid 2 was asked if she ever thought about harming herself, which she said she did. The counselor immediately called the police, without the knowledge of the foster family, to Baker Act Kid 2. Due to the way the law is handled, the foster family was not allowed to intervene until the police got there. When an officer did show up, he would have the final say over whether or not Kid 2 was a danger to herself. The first responding officer is given the responsibility of this determination, and Tim told me they often don't have any special training for this type of thing. They are the same guys that give tickets for speeding. The foster father told Tim that the police officer who had her committed likely saw a little white girl with a black family and just naturally assumed something wasn't right. Tim and Lisa believed him. At the facility, Kid 2 is given Prozac and melatonin because apparently people who have been taken to sterile facilities and loaded up with medication have a hard time sleeping, and eventually was released long past the minimum 3 days. While there, she roomed with an adult woman and got home with knotted hair, since they aren't allowed to have combs in the facility because they are made from hard plastic, which can be sharpened and used violently. She has now been Baker Acted a total of 3 times. Each trip to the facility seems to be less effective than the one before. Where was the caseworker or guardian ad litem throughout all of this, I asked. Aren't they the ones who are supposed to advocate for the kids to the police and courts? Tim laughed at me. They're nowhere to be found. When she got out of the facility the last time, they called us a bunch. It was only to say that her foster father created an unsuitable environment for her to live in and ask us if we'd take her back. When I asked if he created an unsuitable environment for Kid 3, I got no answer. They just want to place the kids and be done with the whole thing. They don't actually care what happens to them. Her foster father and I think that they only say it's unsuitable because he doesn't want to give her the Prozac they prescribed and instead just wants to get her actual therapy to help her work through her problems. Why would they want to drug up kids? That's how her mom got started down the path she's on. After the third Baker Act, Tim started to think that Kid 2 wasn't actually suicidal and was just craving attention from her mother, hoping that eventually she would call and ask if she's okay. She hadn't yet. All of this has been immensely taxing on the family, particularly for Mary. She once explained to me how she saw herself in the kids. Being a second-generation Eastern European in the North, she didn't have a social safety net besides her family. Her father was the town drunk, and her mother, quote, got taken to the loony bin all the time. Eventually, her grandmother, who didn't speak English, reluctantly agreed to take her. Her grandfather used to beat her because she was a reminder of her parents. I can't give up on these kids because I know what they're going through, she once told me. The same thing happened to me, and if it wasn't for my sister, who was 16 years older than me, who could eventually afford to raise me, I don't know where I'd be right now. Tim now despises the state's systems. He loves the Republican government that the state of Florida boasts proudly, but hates the way that these types of social welfare systems operate. He associates these issues with the running list of things he hates that the government provides to people like Jessica, who he firmly believes don't deserve it. She abuses her kids and uses hard drugs, and still people like us pay for her cell phone, her health insurance, her food, everything. Meanwhile, I have to wake up at 5 a.m. every day and bust my ass just to get by. It isn't right, said Tim. Though paradoxical, Tim's relationship with the state government makes some sense. On a rhetorical or theoretical level, he believes in what the governor and state legislature are doing. The problems his family is facing, as he sees them, run much deeper than current administrations. Even though the state has been in his party's control for decades, still, it's the institutions themselves which are corrupt and broken. They've existed long before anyone around had any say over them, and the current legislative body has simply inherited an irreparable system. I've long had conversations with he and Lisa about how they could try to enact change. The way that I see it, if the judicial system is filled with lazy or lenient judges and the nonprofits are filled with incompetent or uncaring caseworkers, it seems like the issues they find with the system lie in the bedrock. They must be firmly rooted in the very laws which facilitate and manage these structures. Though things feel irreparable and there has been permanent harm done to the children's well-being, Tim and Lisa's family can still try to make their story heard. I've encouraged them at great length to contact their state congressperson and senator. That's not even a priority, Tim said to me. I just don't know how much it could change, honestly. I don't know why they'd care to speak to us. We aren't special or unique. We spoke to that one guy because you know him. I've wanted to call him back, but he told us Florida was used as a model of what to do right. I can't imagine what all this is like in other states. If you liked that, please stay tuned this month for the next few parts of Fish, Pharmaceuticals, and Phil. The photo I chose for today shows a Huey parked. The front has a painting of a red wheel with white feathery wings coming out of it. The side window holds a sign which reads, Road Service, with a fuel tank painted on it. Though not mentioned in this letter, it is a very interesting and detailed photo. Once again, hopefully showcasing the versatility of the aircraft. I'm Alex Lowy, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie, and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.